Rachel Zegler just found out what rock bottom really feels like, and spoiler alert, it's lonelier than a Snow White screening at a retirement home. With billions of dollars torched, theaters emptier than a group chat after you ask to borrow money, and a studio scrambling to pretend the movie never existed, Disney is now doing everything it can to memory wipe Snow White from the public consciousness like they've got a real-life Men in Black neuralizer. Today, during what was supposed to be a kid's birthday celebration, we're digging into what went so catastrophically wrong, and why Disney is acting like Snow White never even happened. It started when theater owners, under contract to keep showing the film, began begging Disney to let them take it off the schedule early. That's right. These folks were so desperate, they were willing to swap out a Disney princess for a PowerPoint presentation on the history of shoelaces. Some theaters didn't even wait for permission. They booed Snow White off the screen faster than a bad Tinder date. And the disrespect? Biblical. One fan posted a video from inside a showing, completely empty. Not like crowd empty. Not slow night empty. Empty. You could count the audience on one hand and still have 10 fingers left to text your friends how tragic it was. The vibes were less magical fairy tale and more mandatory high school assembly. Honestly, you could have shot a horror movie in that theater and no one would have noticed. And if you thought that was embarrassing, just wait, because Overseas said, "Hold my popcorn." Lebanon straight up banned the movie. Not just from a few cinemas, the entire country said, "No thanks, we're good forever." Back in the US, Disney suffered the ultimate humiliation. A re-release of Lilo and Stitch, yes, the 2002 Alien Dog movie, beat Snow White at the box office. On opening weekend, Disney just got body-slammed by a blue space chihuahua and a ukulele. Even the merchandise flopped. Disney tried the limited edition tactic to generate buzz for Snow White dolls, mugs, and shirts. But months later, shelves are still overflowing. You could host a flash mob in the toy aisle and not make a dent. One Walmart employee even joked online that the dolls are organizing a union and asking, "Can we leave too?" When your merch is haunting the clearance section, you know the storm's directly over your head. Now let's talk about Rachel, the internet's most popular piñata. When the movie tanked, so did the behind-the-scenes drama. And it leaked harder than an inflatable pool from a dollar store. In a telling interview, Gal Gadot didn't mention Rachel by name, but she didn't defend her either. Instead, she blamed a lack of teamwork and exhausting setbacks. Translation: "Don't look at me, bro." When asked directly about Rachel, Gal replied, "I'll talk about that when I feel comfortable." Which basically means, there's hot tea, but you're not ready for it. Then Rachel's co-star Andrew Burnap straight up ghosted the movie premiere. No press, no photos, nothing. But here's the kicker, Rachel once joked in an interview that all of Andrew's scenes could be cut, and guess what? They were. She laughed off the original movie's romance subplot, calling it outdated, and then hinted that the prince was barely in this version. Surprise, surprise, he got fan-edited out of the actual film. Imagine working on a Disney movie for months, only to be erased from the final cut. No wonder Andrew skipped the red carpet. I would have fake moved to Antarctica. But the chaos didn't end there. Disney's next live-action remake, what was supposed to be another billion-dollar princess parade, got quietly cancelled. No posters. No trailers. No TikToks. Nothing. And guess who is rumored to be in talks to star as Rapunzel? Yep. Rachel. After the Snow White disaster, Disney apparently decided they'd rather wrestle a porcupine than roll those dice again. And then came the saddest, most unintentionally hilarious moment of all. Rachel Zegler arrived at her own screening, holding flowers, ready to celebrate. But the theater? Empty. We're talking tumbleweeds, crickets, and the echo of a single popcorn kernel hitting the floor. It was meant to be her victory lap, but instead, it became a viral meme, Snow White and the 7 empty rows. Even the official Snow White page ghosted her. Social media roasted her within hours. Her flower-holding post became one of the most ratioed Disney-related posts ever. And the box office? Couldn't even crack $100 million domestically. Critics? Ruthless. The IMDb score dropped lower than your phone battery after a night out. Rotten Tomatoes? Looked like a slasher film blood splatter. Audiences weren't just disappointed, they were angry. Angry that Disney wasted their time. Angry that childhood memories were turned into a lecture. Angry that Snow White, of all things, became a battlefield for backlash. And at the center of it all, Rachel was left carrying more baggage than a Spirit Airlines flight during Christmas, and no one offered to help unload it. Agents aren't calling. Studios aren't biting. Co-stars are backing away. The industry is watching the wreckage like a live stream of a train crash. Nobody's jumping in, but no one can look away. And the final punch? Minecraft. Yes, the live-action Minecraft movie, once written off as too silly, obliterated Snow White on opening weekend. No politics. No lectures. Just cubes, zombies, and Jack Black screaming into a mic like it's karaoke night at Dave & Buster's. Audiences didn't want a 2-hour TED Talk on why fairy tales are problematic. They wanted fun. And Minecraft gave it to them. Meanwhile, insiders are now saying Rachel is being quietly blacklisted from major studios. Future roles? Slipping through her fingers. Directors? Hesitant. Agents? Nervous. Disney? Already moved on. She was once a rising star, but now, she's facing the biggest question of her career. Can she bounce back? Or was Snow White the final chapter before the story even began? Because in Hollywood, that baggage piles up fast, and when you're the one dragging it, eventually the flights stop calling. And just when you think it can't get messy, eh? Oh, don't worry, The Simpsons and Family Guy are already loading their cannons. And if you thought South Park's roast was savage, you haven't seen anything yet. Even Jack Black was reportedly roasting her behind the scenes. That's enough for today. Let me know in the comments, do you think Rachel Zegler will ever star in another Disney film? Or is this the end of her fairy tale? Either way, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one.